do I feel good today? What's up, universe? Welcome in to Driving the Line, your sports and sports betting brand of record. We are here every single weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and we've got content literally coming out of our ears. But as always, before we look forward, we must look back. And yesterday, some of our crew members had really good days. Others, not so much, but that's why we are a crew together. Our silent assassin, nailing 4 out of 5. Howie Schwab, he was against the world with Creighton, and they wiped the floor with UConn. If you are a crew member, part of the premium side, you know you always get exclusive content there. Those picks yesterday, absolutely on fire. And thank you to all of you before we even get started yesterday. And it's amazing without football, you have made that the highest viewed show since we rebranded to Driving the Line. So thank you all very much. Now, many of you listened to me yesterday on SiriusXM. You said, hey, Coach, where do I get that shirt? I am not a crybaby. Well, our featured merch items, we got 2 this week. Do you want to do the work? And I am not a crybaby. There's a QR code right there. You can scan it. Also, there's a link in the show description. We've got you covered top to bottom, left to right. Now, in your feed, I encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and then turn on your notifications. We've got a Champions League episode. It's live right now. We've got DTL Golf with me, Steve Scott, Fast Eddie Fernandez, getting you set for the Mexico Open starts tomorrow. That's in your feed right now. And way more than that. But before I tell you about it, let's bring my partner, our 5-tool player, the man who makes us look better than the networks with our producer man behind the scenes. He is AB, and AB already in the chat. Matt says, oh, I want a lot of money with college baseball yet again with AB. Hopefully he has some today. Well, maybe not today, but we do have something very special on our page live right now. Explain that, please.
We do, Coach. So you will see right on the front page of YouTube, and you'll see it at the end of this show and all the others as well, what we started yesterday, a brand new weekly preview in college baseball. We call it This Week in College Baseball. So creative, I know. But what we do is break down the brand new top 25 rankings that just came out, and then the key weekend games and matchups that we're going to be looking forward to, because college baseball, man, it can get wild in terms of money lines, especially in non-conference early in the season. You're going to see minus 1,000s, minus 850s. But those key ranked games, that's where we make our money. So we get ahead of it. We take a look at it. Check it out. It's on the YouTube front page right now. Really, really think you'll enjoy it.
And I also encourage you to follow my man AB on social media, because I saw a lot of questions about college baseball, where you find them, all those kinds of picks, and you answer almost every single one that you can get to.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, if you want to make it even easier on yourself, go click that video and watch it. It's literally, I think, 7 minutes long, and we break down the books that we use, what the books are thinking right now, because we're right in the middle of the middle non-conference schedule before we get to conference play. So it gives you kind of an edge of what the books are thinking, how to use that against them, where to find these plays, and all of that, the difference between midweek games and weekend games. Watch it. It's a great educational 7 minutes, I assure you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't noticed, we live this. This is 24/7 for us. We're going to build this thing into the biggest sports and sports betting brand in the world, and we will not stop until we get there. And we do it all because of you, because you are all members of the crew. Now, speaking of that, we've got 4 selections. We're all going to play together. What are they today, AB?
We got 4 nice selections in college basketball. And I know, and we see it in the chat, that we want more NBA and good mixture in these. Trust me, NBA comes back tomorrow. We will have you set. But we're going to go college basketball right here. We've got Illinois, minus 7.5. Duke, minus 5.5. Alabama, minus 8.5. And Kentucky, minus 6.5. So those are the cruise options today. Poll is in the chat. Vote, and we will update at the end of the show.
And I did get a text this morning from Howie, and the only reason he's not on Wednesdays is because he has to go to dialysis. And he literally said, Coach, I can come on from dialysis. I said, hey, Howie, just send me your picks, and you'll be good. So we'll get to those college basketball in just a second. But first, let's bring in our dynamic duo. I already told you, soccer is big right now. Champions League is big. Also, tomorrow, we'll have a special Europa League episode. Now, here they are, the silent assassin, 4 out of 5. But I'm going to start with my man from the Dirty. And, Charles, if I know you, like I think I know you. I'm going to let you start because I know you hit your crew exclusive. That's amazing. But here on the big daily show, when you go 0 for 3 and we all picked you up, but I understand you like to come out of the corner like a rabid dog. You're not going to take a step back. You're going to come right between the eyes. So, Charles, if you don't mind, start us off.
Absolutely. You already know, Coach. We're going to kick it off with some MLS with a new season tonight. And believe it or not, Inter Miami and Real Salt Lake have never played one another. And Inter Miami, they get their first full season with Messi on the squad, along with off-season addition Luis Suarez and the rest of their Barcelona reunion teammates. Inter Miami, they plateaued last season after winning the first ever Leagues Cup, but Beckham's bunch ended up finishing second to last in the Eastern Conference, scoring 41 total goals while conceding 54. Meanwhile, Real Salt Lake, they arrived in South Florida with much more success, having finished fifth in the Western Conference. The visitors were also the second best team in the league on the road and have not lost the opening day match since 2009. We should definitely see a highly entertaining event. And although Real Salt Lake has history on their side, I still see Inter Miami having an explosive opener. So we're going to back Inter Miami to score in both halves. We're going to go ahead and get the over 3 full-time goals, and we're going to get Luis Suarez anytime goal scorer.
Boy, I tell you what, all of a sudden Lionel Messi comes to the United States, and we're all over Inter Miami. But that's just Charles. Now, Charles, while you were giving us those incredible picks, we had some stuff going on in the chat. And Alana, that's correct, right, Jacob? Alana?
Yep.
Is that correct? Okay. So she's kind of taken over the chat. She's kind of the MVP, you could say, about the chat.
She's the team mom.
She is the team mom. She is. All right. That's her new title. Alana is the team mom. And clearly they've noticed that you're all centered up this morning. However, now you have a star coming out of the back of your head. So I'm going to figure out how we brand that AB. And Alana she's embracing the team mom. But when you go 4 out of 5, and by the way, everybody's talking about our premium ticks too, fire, which you've been killing it there too. When you go 4 out of 5, I can't tease you. I just have to take a step back and just let you do your thing. So, Jacob, silent assassin, our secret weapon, you're up next, sir.
Well, Coach, MLS starts today. Like Charles said, I am so excited. I was ready to flip my table right now, just ready to give out these picks. Inter Miami is going to make a statement today versus Real Salt Lake. Real Salt Lake, decent team, okay, but Lionel Messi and his Inter squad made a statement last year when he came on, really had some dominant games. Towards the end of the season, they fell off a little bit, but that's because they knew they were out of the playoff race, didn't want to, take any chances. Now they have a full, fresh season with one of the best players in the world. They are going to smash in this game. Inter Miami -1, Inter Miami in over 1.5 goals, and Inter Miami to score in both halves. It's going to be money. We're taking Inter Miami, and I really love them. My last play, St. Louis City to finish in the top 7 in the West. This isn't easy. The West has some weak teams. St. Louis last season really made a statement as in their inaugural season and really crushed a lot of teams. So at -125, I think this is a way too cheap price. And I like St. Louis City to be, that's like one of my dark horses for a championship run. So I love them to finish top 7 for sure.
Well, I tell you what.
So you can see I got the shirt going on. I got the MLS scarf. I'm ready to go.
Are you done?
Yep.
Like I start to talk, and all of a sudden you want to throw out your own merch, and you want to talk about your own show, which has NHL picks on it from Better Days Ahead.
Hey, he's already going into business for himself.
Hey, I'm here for it. By the way, because we don't have any NHL picks on this show today, but we pick up everybody. Do you have any NHL picks going forward? Are there any games today, Jacob?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Those are going to be on the detail exclusive. So you'll have to check that out if you want NHL today.
Oh,
that's
right.
a plug right there.
Everybody knows what that is. Like, what is that? Okay. All right. Follow my man at Pick Management. By the way, Charles, before I let you get out of here, because me and AB got to break down some college basketball, can you give people a little preview of if they go over to our Champions League episode, 2 more big games today? What are we looking at there?
We have Arsenal and Porto, and then Napoli and Barcelona. So we should have some entertaining matches today. So I would definitely recommend everyone going over and taking a glimpse at the Champions League video that's live now.
Well, that's a hell of a tease. All these guys are growing, AB. They're just talking amongst themselves.
I have one question.
Yes.
All right. So on the view that we're all seeing here, Charles, on the right side, there's a picture in a small picture in a black frame. Is that Michael P.S. Hayes?
Is that Michael Hayes?
That's Kobe.
To over your left shoulder, that's Kobe
Oh,
Bryant?
no, that's Messi.
That's Messi. Oh, it
That's
does
not
look
PS.
like Michael P.S. Hayes. That
Not
does look like
PS.
Michael P.S. Hayes. By the way, speaking of that, at some point, AB, we're going to do an episode, and I don't know how we're going to do it because it's going to be big, on the flight from hell. And if people know what I'm talking about, they had a full documentary on TV. We're actually going to do it correct. So Michael P.S. Hayes was on that flight. And just to give you a little tease as part of the story, he had his hair cut, which he hadn't done in over 25 years. And he was so intoxicated that he had his hair cut and didn't even know about it.
That checks out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'll be on Behind the Turnbuckle. If you haven't followed us over there, I encourage you to do so. Charles, Jacob, our dynamic duo. Well done, gentlemen. Well done. By the way, Prince of Pick says, hey, Jacob, it's Coach's show. Zip it. I couldn't say it any better. All right. Our boys will be all the way over there on Crew Exclusive. Check them out on Champions League. I love those two guys. They're absolutely amazing. Now, AB, we got to get into college basketball. And NBA doesn't start tomorrow. We'll get that in the rundown. But I want to go over Howie's picks first and get your reaction to them, because nobody's more dedicated to this than Howie Schwab. And tonight, here's what he likes. Georgia Tech plus 7.5, minus 105. Xavier minus 4.5, minus 115. DePaul plus 25.5, minus 105. Anything you like there?
DePaul plus 25.5. Who are they playing? The Clippers?
They're playing Marquette.
Okay.
Marquette.
No,
Points.
Okay, like I'll take that just because I'm down with that kind of spread right there. But no, man, Xavier, fascinating spread right there, 4.5. You're right there at the influx point between needing 2 to 3 baskets. Fouls, which we've talked about the last 2 weeks, are really coming into play. Give me the Xavier. I really like that one. I mean, it's Howie. Like, why would I be negative on any of them? But that Xavier, I really like that one for sure.
A couple of nuggets. Xavier won the first meeting over Providence by 20, so they have a chance to sweep that season series tonight. And Georgia Tech, they get beat by North Carolina at home, can get up versus better teams, is what he says.
They're tough to trust. Yeah, he's exactly right. Like, they will play up to competition, and they will play way down to competition. And also in the chat, Joseph asked, 8-ball and MJG or UGK? Look, can't hate on either. Man, I'm UGK all the way. Let's go.
Matty Ice says, if anyone touches a minus 25, please call that 1-800 number. They
call the red line.
Oh, we do have a birthday member of the crew, Jared. Happy birthday to Jared. Thank you for tipping us off there. Happy birthday. I'm feeling lucky on my birthday. By the way, if you're a member of the crew, Howie just sent in a bonus pick. He says, give this to just the members of the crew. That's his words, Notre Dame, Louisville. That's all I can tell you. If you're not a member of the crew, I encourage you to do it right now. Now, AB, let me come over to you because you're always taking care of everybody. So we've got a little college basketball tonight, but also there's some midweek baseball. And I will repeat myself until I am blue in the face. Nobody is better at college baseball than my man sitting right here. And I will take that to any ends of the earth. You're up, sir.
Appreciate that, Coach. Happy birthday, Jared. And look, happy birthday, Melanie Sue, in the chat. Wanted to make sure that I got that in from yesterday, and this is for her. 2 plays, UNLV, Air Force, over 134.5. Who doesn't love a birthday over? And you're looking at UNLV coming for revenge in this game. It is going to be a nice back and forth affair. And that's exactly what we want. Blowouts lead to unders. No, this one's going to be right at it. We're going to take that one. And then we're also going to go to college baseball. And Duke and Miami play each other in basketball tonight. But we're going to take them separately, money lines in college baseball today, because Duke looking to continue what their season has already started, ranked, looking good, pitching, hitting, they can do it all. Miami as well. Put those two together, plus 100. And Melanie Sue, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. By the way, shout out to Efrain in the chat. He says, I can't believe I found you guys. AB is the best capper. Efrain, welcome to Driving the Line. Hit that notification. Subscribe to the channel. You don't need to go anywhere else. And ladies and gentlemen, speaking of the chat, AB, guess who just logged in? Guess who's in the chat right now? Bouquet Schwab. You're damn right. Howie Schwab live from dialysis.
You can't stop this man. I'm telling you. Like, I say it on Twitter, I think every single day. Like, he is legitimate. He's made man status. He is absolutely made man status. There needs to be a statue of this guy. He is the GOAT.
He is. Now, I will tell you this, that I spoke with Howie last night, and for all of you crew members, we're heading into March Madness. We're going to have just so much college basketball content. We are coming up with something, AB. We haven't really put our finger on it yet, but we're going to do something for the regular show, of course. But then, we always tell people who want more, part of the crew, we're going to do something. I don't know if it's going to be Stump the Schwab, but we're going to do something and then reward people with a little merchandise or something like that. So we've got a little bit of something for everybody. If you have any questions for Howie, put them into the chat, and he will answer them for you in real time. So Big Cheesy's asking, are we ever going to cash with the coach again? We might, but I'm very, very busy. I don't like to force picks, but I can tell you this, that tomorrow morning, live on our Thursday show, I'll have round 1 picks from the Mexico Open. And last week, my round-by-round picks, AB, they were not good. My tournament picks were fire, as was Steve. I encourage people to go watch TTL Golf right now. But we've got a little discussion because we do more than just picks here at the show. It's time for the rundown. Now, when you are a sports bettor, you got to look at all the different stories and all the different things, because sometimes they can always lead back to having an effect on games and spreads, and knowledge is power. Educate and entertain. We say it all the time. So yesterday, the College Football Playoff Board of Managers, AB, came out. They had a vote, and it is now set. They're calling it a 5+7 model. Basically, the highest ranked conference champions, and then you include that group of 5, and then the next 7 highest ranked teams in college football, 12 teams this coming season. I'm excited for it, but there are a few details that they haven't worked out yet. But just looking at the overall decision, what do you make of it?
So first, let me say this from the chat really quickly. Thank you to Play the Music and my man Slick Rick, both becoming members today of the crew. And I wanted to say this. John just said it best. If you have YouTube Premium, your first month is free joining the crew. So come on in and enjoy it. Have some fun. Now, back to exactly what you just said, Coach. All right. So a 5-7 model. This is exactly what it's going to be. You're going to have the 5 highest ranked conference winners. They get an automatic bid. That's generally going to set up as the Big 5, Big 10, Big 12, SEC, etc. But it doesn't mean that that's automatic. You're going to have every conference that is in the D1, what they used to call it, level, fighting for those. So I think that number one, I think that overall it's fantastic. It is a smart play. More teams, better. Because go look at the numbers right now. In the history of the college football playoff, 80% of the games have been double-digit blowouts. 80%. They haven't been good games. This is going to make it better. The NCAA tournament, March Madness, remember, every single time that it expanded, people complained, they didn't like it, and guess what? It got better. It's the best postseason tournament in sports. So, college football playoff, I enjoy that. Now, you've got the 5 conference winners, ranked automatic bids. Then you have 7 at-large bids that are going to come in as well. 7 is better than 6. That's what they were looking at if going like a 6-6 model. But 5 and 7 is even better because we have conferences like the Pac-12 that are severely moving around, and who even knows how long that is going to last. So, long story short, this is an excellent move and a smart decision. And Coach, let me say this finally. Take a look in the next 2 years at the bowl games that have been aligned to conferences, right? The Sugar Bowl with the SEC, the Rose Bowl with the Pac-12. They're likely going to disband those and open them up. Now, I understand the tradition with that, and there's going to be some, negative words said, and I get it. But what it's actually going to do is open these things up to see SEC teams that never get to play in the Rose Bowl get to go to Pasadena. West Coast teams get to come to the Southeast, play in the Sugar Bowl. I think that they have this plan wrapped up very nicely, which is surprising because I hammer the NCAA constantly, but this isn't the NCAA. It's the playoff committee, and they're doing it correctly.
Yeah, one of the reasons why it kind of took this long is, to your point about the Pac-12. Basically, it's the Pac-2 right now. It's Washington State and it's Oregon State. So they've signed a deal with the Mountain West that people don't know, and they'll each be playing 6 games against the Mountain West. And they were kind of holding up the vote because I think they thought in some delusional world that they were still going to be able to have an automatic bid, which will not happen now, which is why they're going to have the group of 5 and then the next 7. The interesting one that I'm looking at is Notre Dame. They knew this was coming for several years. They had an offer, almost a standing offer, from the ACC to become a member. But there's way too much money in their TV contract and to be an independent for them ever to go join the ACC or another conference. Now, I'm thinking, will this, now that it's a 12-team playoff, and they were talking about yesterday, they don't even know how the money AB is going to be distributed yet. They haven't even figured that out. They made this announcement, have no clue. So as they figure that out, if there's enough money, do you think it would be smart for Notre Dame, who's really the only big one that's going to be affected by this, to join a conference?
They don't really have to. Honestly, they've gotten through the difficult part of when it absolutely mattered to be in a conference, and they still were Notre Dame, right? So I don't think so. It all depends on the TV money, what you just said. So if we start to see even larger conferences, right? If the SEC starts to go even further, and it's basically the SEC and the Big Ten that are going to kind of dictate this. And go ahead and mark down Greg Sankey, all right, the commissioner of the SEC. He's going to be the next guy leading all of this. So just pay attention to that. But Notre Dame's in the perfect spot, man. They're just fine by themselves. But if the number's right,
the number's right. Yeah. Chris says conference champs being locked into top 4 could help create an upset or two. That is correct. Marty says best Christmas gift ever. College football playoff starts December 20th and rolls all the way into the NFL playoffs. So I think it's going to be awesome. I've been wanting this for a really, really long time. And now we don't have any more teams bitching and moaning about not getting in. And I'm number 5. Now we got the top 12, and let's move it along. Now, speaking of playoffs, the NBA is now heading into the second half of the season. And a month ago, or 6 weeks ago, AB, Doc Rivers was sitting on the sidelines calling games for ESPN. Now, he's always been one of those dudes that falls into another job. He's never been out of work for very long. But now he's kind of stepped in it. And it started an avalanche, which we will bring back to a betting perspective. So basically, he threw his team under the bus. They're 3-7 since he took over as the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. He openly questioned the ownership of why are you doing this, and said it in a radio interview or a TV interview. So then J.J. Redick came out yesterday on First Take and blasted his former coach for never taking accountability, for never taking responsibility. That led to Pat Beverly, who I think is going to be great on TV when he's done playing. He's been on a little bit. He blasted J.J. Redick. So then Doc Rivers' son, who doesn't even really get along with his dad, Austin Rivers, came out on NBA Today and said, this is weird that J.J. would do this. His best years were with Doc Rivers. The bottom line is this firestorm for a team that traded for Damian Lillard, that thought they should be the favorites to win it all. They're an absolute dumpster fire right now. Your thoughts?
We said it day one. Go back. You can look on this YouTube page. The minute that this broke, we blasted it and said it was stupid, it was dumb, and it's turned out exactly how we said it would. Look, Doc Rivers, he came out and said, look, what he's doing is he's trying to babyface himself and put himself in a good light in a situation that he helped create. All right. He says, I don't know what the ownership is doing. They brought me in. I have no idea. Shut up, dude. Like, you've been around basketball for 40 years. You don't come in as a consultant. They didn't put a gun to your head and make you come in and be a consultant. You knew exactly what that was. I'll give you a real life example of what he did. Doc Rivers was essentially the marriage counselor that convinces your wife to divorce you, and somehow he's moving in 2 weeks later. But when the kids don't call him dad and everything is falling apart, I don't know what happened. I don't know how this dude, no. You knew exactly what you were doing. What he actually should have done is turned heel on all of this, ran with it, because what that team needs, they have talent. It's the locker room. There's no fire. There's no punch. There's nothing. It's laissez-faire. If he would have turned heel and ran with it, and the locker room would have done the same, this could have worked. But it's not going to work. It hasn't worked. And now he is trying to excuse himself, babyface himself, and just powder right out of the ring. And JJ Redick is 1,000% correct. Tired of the excuses. Dude, we ain't buying it.
I'm trying to figure out how many wrestling terms you're going to use in your take this morning. I'm up to like 8 or 9 right now. Powder, babyface, heel. I'm here for it. But here's a question in the chat. Joseph says, my thing is, do you blame the coach or the $1 million players? Joseph, I played college basketball. I was a really good player, and I had really good players around me. But if the players are not playing together and have good coaching, certainly at this level, then yes, you can blame the coach. But here's a little known fact, AB, that most NBA teams, and the Milwaukee Bucks are no different. They have consultants. They talk to certain people and they say, hey, are we going this way? We're going that way. And they had a really good record when they fired Adrian Griffin after however many games. Do you know who the main consultant was for the Milwaukee Bucks this entire offseason and the entire start of the season in the NBA? Doc Rivers. It was Doc Rivers. So when he says on an interview, I don't know why you guys would do this. You're in the rooms. You're a consultant for these owners, because a lot of times ownership doesn't know anything about the game that they own. People talk about Jerry Jones all the time. He's actually a pretty good GM because he kind of knows football, because he played football at Arkansas. But most owners don't know the game. So they bring in consultants. And when a guy like Doc Rivers, and I've never figured it out, AB, because you and I could have won an NBA championship with that team in Boston. We could have stood on the sidelines and just let them play, and yes, they would have won an NBA championship. Anywhere else that he has gone, he's had incredible talent. He's taken credit for getting James Harden to the Clippers, where, oh, by the way, he used to coach, so he thinks he has a relationship there. The whole thing is crazy, and it's entertaining to watch, but I think JJ Redick is onto something.
Yeah,
for some reason, Doc Rivers
I do too.
Never takes accountability.
No, he doesn't. But I'll also say this. Carlton, all right, our man Carlton Foster in the chat, he is spot on with it too. And what you just said, Coach, what you just said, this is the NBA. This is professionals, all right? The coach can only do so much, all right? Now, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. I'm not a big Doc Rivers guy. Didn't think this was going to work. It's playing out exactly how we thought it would. But, all right, Carlton in the chat said it absolutely correct too. He can't play defense for him, right? Like, you are a professional. You are making a whole hell of a lot of money. And even if you weren't, that's the role of that's your job. You're a professional. You go out and you play and you give it everything you have. That team has talent. So we can walk and chew gum at the same time. Not a big Doc guy, but that locker room needs to look at themselves too, because this is a college, it isn't high school, they're the pros. And you know what? You can't have to have someone motivate for you every single time. Go play, dude. So, yeah, like, I agree with that. And I also agree with Carlton. He's absolutely correct, man. Like, you got to go out, strap it up, play too.
Well, that's what kind of Shaq said as we pivot into what the Bucks are going to look like and who's going to be their leadership. The other day, after Damian Lillard won the All-Star Game MVP, he goes up on the set with the guys from TNT. And that's what I love about Shaq, is he will say anything, but he's been their 4-time champion. What are you going to say to the big diesel? And he looks at Damian Lillard. He says, hey, you're too nice. And I've been accused of that sometimes. Hey, coach, you're too nice. No longer. And he says, you got to go back. You got to be in the locker room. And they also have Giannis, arguably the best player in the NBA. You got 2 top 8 players. You count Lillard in the top 8 or 10, and you're not winning these games. And the last game before the All-Star break, you were an 11.5-point favorite, according to BetMGM and Bovada. And you lose on the court to guys that were playing in the G League, to guys that are like two-way players that don't even score, and you lose that game. That's bottom of the barrel. So now as we look at the odds moving into the second half, the Bucks are the 4th favorite to win the whole thing, which may be a little bit too high. Just to win the East, they are plus 300 behind the Celtics at plus 110. And those are really good odds any other year. But now as we look at this whole thing and all the negativity, would there ever be a world, AB, that you would put any money at those odds on the Bucks East or NBA championship?
No, but here's the difficult part. I really do like Giannis, right? Like, I mean, they've got pieces. Like, they're not far away. They just need a spark. Look at the Chiefs, all right? Like, it was a weird season for them, man. And Travis Kelce wasn't looking like himself. And then seemingly that Dolphins game, in essentially Patrick Mahomes before it said everyone needs to get the heads out of their asses and get going. And that's how quick it can happen, man. So, like, I'm not writing them off. I just wouldn't bet it, man, because even though the Celtics are tough to trust, I can trust them more than the Bucks. Like, they're a solid team, man. So no, like, I wouldn't put money on them, but again, not writing them off, because when you got dudes like that, like that can play at that level, they can turn it on, but I'm just not buying it.
Yeah, John says Bucks have depth too. I kind of like the adversity right now. Like, it can only go up from here, right? Well, that's exactly right. So we'll see. But I want you guys to keep an eye, because we love to look at futures here on the show, and we love to kind of put the toe in the water. And sometimes you can get some value if things turn around. You got something else?
Yeah. So real quick. All right. So speaking of futures, all right, we're talking. We're gonna do an MLB, future show. Like, we'll have all that figured out. But the Dodgers win total this year is like 105 with Shohei Ohtani going over there. And I'm not asking a question. We're not going to answer it right now, but it made me think of it. It's like 105. Ohtani gets up to plate for his first pitch in batting practice and put it about 520 feet. Like, I cannot wait to break down Major League Baseball in the futures, because it's going to be a lot of fun.
I have a weekly segment on ESPN Radio out here in Southern California, and there is so much heartbreak, and just people are sad because 20 miles away, 30 miles away, their beloved Shohei Ohtani signed, $700 million. And so every single day and we're going to bring Roger Lodge here on the show, host of Blind Date, world famous. And every day on his show, it's the same thing. Shohei. So we'll get to that coming up in the next month or so. Of course, we'll have a futures episode. All right. Thank you all in the chat very much. We end the show every single day the same way. It's time for the closing bell. All right, AB, what do we got first? Got a couple of things here on the closing bell. What do we got with the crew?
Yeah. So, all right. So first up, Duke. That is where the crew is going. Duke minus 5.5, rolling with it tonight. That's going to be an awesome game. I cannot wait to watch. I love when we have good Tuesday night and a good Wednesday night in college basketball back to back. Cannot wait for that. Also, I was going to say, I just saw that we have had a large influx of new people just join the show. So if we could throw the recap screen up just on the side while we're talking right here so that they can see it as well. Just want to make sure everybody is good. But yes, the crew is going with Duke. How do you feel about that, Coach? You on the Dookie side tonight? You going Miami? How do you feel?
Well, I kind of feel like we need to go with Dookies because J.J. Redick's a Dookie. Austin Rivers is a Dookie. I feel like it's very Duke heavy talking about the Doc Rivers. So maybe that's a sign. Maybe it's a sign.
Hey, hopefully they just both win in baseball. That's all we want today.
That's all we care about. Shout out to Robert. We got a lot of new crew members that joined today as well. He says, man, I got to get my Do You Want to Do the Work t-shirt or sweatshirt. That's our featured item of the week. And also, AB, because we've got a lot of things going on. As you know, I do all the betting content for the PFL. The PFL just bought Bellator. They've got their first big pay-per-view from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And they said to me, Coach, we'd love for you to come to Saudi Arabia. I said, no, I need to be here to do Driving the Line every single day. So I told them no. But I did tell them, how about we do a new betting show called Betting the PFL? And would you guys mind if we posted it also at Driving the Line to help push the message out? And they said, yes, Coach. We would love for you to do that. So it will be posted later today, AB. And I could not be more excited to have the full betting card, me and Ian Parker, right here on our page. How cool is that?
It's awesome. The Duck. Can't wait for it, man. Get you two. Look, you two tagged. It's like the Midnight Express coming right back together. I love it. And yeah, going to be right here on the front page. More betting content and just inclusion for everybody. Driving the Line, man. I absolutely love it. Let's go.
We're just getting started. We're just growing. And by the way, if you're a company out there and we know you guys are watching, you want to be a part of this, I suggest you call. And I would do it quickly because we are growing and we only have so many seats on the bus, if you know what I mean. All right. Do not forget, if you're a member of the crew, we got crew exclusive picks every single day. Also, Champions League live right here on this page. DTL Golf, don't miss it. Mexico Open right here on this page. Our weekly college baseball preview right here on this page. We got everybody covered. So with all that being said, there's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My attacker, Lobo. Silent Assassin, Jacob. My man from the Dirty, Charles. My 5-tool player, AB. Producer man, always behind the scenes, making the show look like $1 million. I am simply the coach, trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's truly what we're all about right here at Driving the Line. Good luck.